We all know the compound effect that if we consistently persist toward a goal and through our obstacles, we're tapping into a universal force designed to transcend time and space and give us an edge over our current situation just with our movement. And so today we're talking about the 1% shift we can make so that we can manifest what we want right here, right now, no matter what challenge is in front of us. Because this practice that we're talking about today can potentially create a 3,700% improvement. This podcast is all about helping you with your spiritual growth so you can overcome obstacles and manifest your destiny, to crystallize and materialize any dream, basically to have success on life's journey. It's all about getting unstuck by unlocking your hidden power. So let's get started.
Hi there and welcome. My name is Remy, like Do-Re-Mi. I'm a best-selling author and creator of the Get Unstuck Revolution. I help extraordinary women just like you dissolve the obstacles in your path so you can bring success to you. Now let's get started with today's video.
Okay, let me jump off the screen here and switch over to my laptop. We all know about compounding interest. It's simple. It's the interest we earn on both our original deposit and on the interest we continue to accumulate. Compound interest allows our savings to grow, and yes, it even applies to personal and spiritual efforts to grow. What's the difference between incremental and exponential growth? Well, if we consistently persist toward a goal and through the obstacles, we're left with an amazing compound effect, a universal force designed to transcend time and space and give us an edge over our current situation. If we can make a 1% improvement over the course of a year, that's a 365% improvement, right? But wait, that's like straight interest, not compounding interest. With straight interest, we might see a 365% improvement over a year, but with compounding interest, that's a potential of a 3,700% success trend. If you'd like to see success in full abundance along life's journey, and if you're wanting to tap into a greater knowingness and align with the higher consciousness of your infinite self, instead of the lower ego thinking that pushes success away, then this is for you. It's time to be unabashedly, unapologetically, happily untethered to ego thinking. It's time to align with the higher energies of our soul's path instead. This episode is for you if you wonder how to know what the first step is toward a quantum change, whether a 3,700% increase is really possible, and what to do if you can't seem to get what you want or if you aren't sure what your direction is. Yes, these episodes are about how to find your hidden power when you want to transform challenges into successes. I like to call it the audacity of alchemy. Because when we're feeling stuck, it's never the situation that has us stuck. It's our energy about it that's become stuck in anxiety, overwhelm, doubts, worries, frustrations, indecision, and even anger. And often, this is because of a spiritual injury that we've experienced, some kind of hidden trauma. So it isn't the pain of the situation. It's the pain of not being connected in the natural energy of who we really are, of being connected to that magical part of us that's a creative vibrational being who can use positive energies to create what we want and bring it into physical manifestation. We can allow our manifestations to materialize and not get stuck in the negative vibrations that block them. And these positive energies that we talk about so much are where we find the magic of alchemy, because our choice of frequency, our choice of those positive thoughts and emotions can change the course of our journey. So how can we see a 3,700% increase in where we are today? Now, I don't necessarily want to wake up with 3,700% more vitality than I've ever had. Maybe you do. I guess it depends on the basic set point of where we started. Maybe I'd like to see a 3,700% increase or improvement in my friendships, business partnerships, or love relationships, but realistically, there's probably a natural ebb and flow and not such a steep incline toward that 3,700%. Now, if we're talking about revenue, though, I might sit straight up. If somebody was making, for example, $100,000 a year right now and experienced this 3,700% increase, well, I'll let you do the math on that. because it's impressive, especially if it were to happen year over year. So we could definitely have some fun with these numbers, but for now, we're just talking about a 1% shift that when compounded can become a very big deal. 1 penny doubled each day for 31 days. Have you ever looked this up? 1 penny doubled each day for 31 days would be equal to $10.7 million. 1 penny doubled every day for 31 days is $10.7 million. And realistically speaking, we're talking about what we can do to manifest what we want right here, right now. We aren't talking about suddenly manifesting $10.7 million, although that would be fun. But let's just be real. Let's talk about what we can do right here, right now. You know, I wanted to do this episode, and I'm calling it the 1% shift because last week we talked about a quote that Einstein made. He said, match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. This is not philosophy, this is physics. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. And also last week, I said that the only thing required of us ever is a shift in frequency. And even though it's not the first time I featured this quote in an episode, I got a lot of comments. And here's what some people were saying. I can't seem to get what I want. I need to get my confidence back. I'm not sure what my calling is. I have a lack of direction. And so when I looked at some of the comments that came in from last week, the overriding theme or overriding question seemed to be, how do I put this 1% shift into action when I'm lost and don't even know where I am right now? So this may not be a magical solution that I'm giving you, but once you see this, it just may become your own personal breakthrough. So let me put a slide up for you here to illustrate this idea of what one small shift can make. And here's what we talked about a second ago. You'll see here that 1 penny doubled each day for 31 days becomes $10.7 million. That's the column here that's marked doubled. But that doesn't include the compounding part. It doesn't include the original investment plus the compounding part. When we look at the other column here, it isn't just $10.7 million. It's over $21 million. And by the way, this is a chart that I pulled from Raven's Roost, just to give you the source, because if you know me, math isn't my first language. So I pulled up this graphic for us to have a look at. The point is, if we want to see a 3,700% improvement in our life, it starts with one small tweak every single day. That's the point, and we let that build on itself. If we just pick up a penny off the street and never do anything with it, it's just a penny. But we want some magic in our lives. We want things to shift. We don't want to be limited to just 1 penny. We want to find a way to move toward our unlimited potential. And so really that's what this graph is illustrating. Okay, so this isn't some airy-fairy concept. This is math. It's science. And maybe a little bit of physics if Einstein has any say in this. It's really quantum change, because life can change in ways that we can't even imagine if we commit to one tiny positive change every day, one tiny habit. Maybe it's adding to a vision journal. And this is something I've had many clients do to heal from an emotional trauma. One new vision a day, one page in their vision journal, and one affirmation to go with it. Or maybe it's creating a new mantra every day. Maybe it's looking at just one new possibility every day. One page in a book that changes our entire mindset. One inspirational quote from Pinterest every day. One mind-changing post on Facebook that you can indulge. One more deep breath. One more smile, or one new person to share a smile with. Or we could take a different slant. Maybe it's looking at our bigger dream, our bigger goal, our bigger vision, and break that down into smaller bites, into one next step. And then one more bite a day, and we're moving closer to that dream. One small strategy, one item checked off the master list. You know, I remember years ago when I did my first teleseminar. Remember those? I can't even remember what year that was. And it was overwhelming for me. I'd taken a 5-week course and I was completely lost. The technology was over my head. The expert had given us one of those check sheets and there were so many missing pieces. I couldn't even fathom what in the world I was supposed to be doing. And she had upgraded her course to what she called the 2.0 version. And as I listened in, having never heard the 1.0 version, I got to tell you, I could hardly even keep up. So I took copious notes. I wrote down every question, every tidbit, every referral to some piece of something that I didn't understand. And then I took that check sheet, which by this time was probably 3 pages in my notebook, maybe more, and tackled just the easiest pieces first, just to check them off. And then I put the rest into an order. Do this first, research this next, find a way to outsource that. And each item was in order, and I checked each one off, 1, 2, 3, one step at a time. And by the time I did that first teleseminar, I had something like 2 sales, but it was a start. I mean, it was my first, probably $1,500, but I got there by doing one small thing a day. And I'll be honest, I was so overwhelmed that I'm not sure I could have done more than 1 step a day. But one item from that checklist was equal to that 1% change that I had committed to. And as they say, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with just 1 step. In a year, or even in a month, if you're an overachiever like me, you could see that 3,700% improvement. The important thing is the motion, staying in motion. You know, Sir Isaac Newton said it best when he said that an object continues to move unless acted on by an external force. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but the idea is to get into motion. Nothing changes if nothing changes. But once we put something into motion, even if it's just a 1% movement, we'll continue to move toward that direction. And this is why you hear me say every week that we want to allow our manifestations to materialize and not get stuck in the negative vibrations that block them. If we get stuck in negative thoughts, then from what Sir Isaac Newton is saying, it's our negative thoughts that create an external force. Negative thoughts and negative energy and negative emotions will block the momentum that we've put into motion. Now, I've possibly never said this before, so this may be new. We get to want what we want. We are master manifestors, master creators. We are here to fulfill our deepest and greatest desires. We can't let the condition or the situation or the illusion convince us that it isn't what we want, or that it can't be had, or that it's taking too long and might not ever happen. We can't allow our ego thinking to pull us down into disbelief about what's possible. All things are possible. And if all things are possible, what does that leave out? We have to disallow those thoughts that don't match our desire. We don't need to analyze or fix or correct anything. We don't have to spin around with a million thoughts. We don't need to fret about it. We don't need to let ego thinking drive us crazy, looking at all the reasons why something can't work. Remember, we only need to match the frequency of the reality we desire, and we can't help but get that reality. If a situation or a person or a past experience convinces us that it can't happen, then the thing that was already happening can't happen. The thing that's already on its way to us gets stalled. It's beyond our reach. It's out too far out there. The manifestation has slowed down. It's like it's moving away from us. And so if we'll make a decision toward this 1% shift, not only can we see instant manifestation right here, right now, but we'll have so much momentum going that stalling out becomes an improbability. If we match the frequency of the reality we desire, we can manifest what we want, no matter what obstacle is in front of us. We're matching the frequency of the reality we desire by making this 1% shift and directing our thoughts toward that reality. As we empower ourselves toward this expression and who we are at our core without the negative emotions of ego, in doing that, we're choosing a higher frequency, higher and better thoughts, because our choice of frequency, our choice of more positive emotions, changes the course of our journey. So reflecting back on everything we covered today, how can you apply what you've learned? As you look over your life or your business, what's one area where you'd like to see a 3,700% improvement? Or we could look at it another way. What one area where you could make a 1% improvement every day, which of course could put you on track for that 3,700% improvement? What's one area where you could make a 1% improvement every day, which could put you on track for that 3,700% improvement? We want to increase our focus toward the best possible, most joyful outcomes. I hope this helps you as you're using the powers of alchemy to transform challenges and obstacles into positive new successes. This podcast is all about helping you have success on your spiritual growth journey. It's all about getting unstuck by unlocking your hidden power. If you still can't get your head around what's got you stuck, you can tell me about it. You can send me a question to questions@unlockyourhiddenpower.com. Or you may not know that you can schedule a one-on-one session with your own personal unstuckologist, that's me, by visiting instantbreakthroughsession.com. This private session is designed to help you tap into your greatest resource, that's you, and together we can make quite a team toward calling in the transformational powers of alchemy. In our time together, we'll uncover your single biggest stuck point, the one you can't see. And we'll also go over the most genius way to create clarity so you can just move forward while one obstacle after another is obliterated. And we'll create a strategy to get you moving in a really good direction, the one that's aligned with your life purpose. If this sounds like a match made in heaven, you can hop on over to instantbreakthroughsession.com right now and book the time slot that works best for you. Well, thanks for joining me today, and I'm wishing you a life filled with all the alchemy you need to bring success to you. Feel free to share this video with anyone you know who's feeling stuck, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.